Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Monday edition of Shoulder Tap. I am Jack, joined by risk manager Brett from the home office. Brett, Monday, the beginning of the week, the beginning of a good trading week, or not so much?
It really depends. Good early afternoon, by the way, Jack. Great to be on Shoulder Tap with you, with all the viewers. Um, it really depends on which trader we're looking at today. I mean, if we talk to Pin in their live funded account, they are up right now. What? Oh, just dipped below 19,000. They're at 18,900 in profits. Um, and then a name that I feel like I mention every time I'm on here, Dakota. Dakota's hit their DLL today again and had a rough day of it in the markets. Again, in the live markets, down 12,000. He did speak with one of the risk managers here and decided to call it a day, which
Mm-hmm.
might have been a little bit too late, but hey, you know what? You gotta shoot your shot. But I hate seeing those big losses, and we do have a significant number of traders on the good side of zero, and probably about an equal number on the bad side of zero. But right around, as far as Topstep goes as a whole, we're pretty much zero sum as are the markets as a whole.
Good to know. Well, yeah, I mean, Dakota could still put up the big days, though. So 12K, he can lose. Get back on your feet, Dakota. And hello, I don't know if you know Brett. For those asking, by the way, yeah, there are a lot of bots here, so extend your human welcome to them. We come in peace. Bots of YouTube, stick around, and we'll teach you about some risk management. All right. Yeah, with that, I know we have three cards today, so I'm ready to jump in whenever you want. And if there's time left over, we could grab a few questions from the chat.
Definitely would love to. I hope we have time for some questions from chat today. But yeah, let's get into the trading cards that we have. The first one that we have for today is Brendan. Um, Brendan is in 100, or I guess I should say, was in 150K live funded account. And Brendan kind of started off a little bit rocky, I'd say, in that in seven, I'm sorry, 9 days of trading. I think I said six. Oh, no, in 9 days of trading, Brendan unfortunately lost the account, and today was the last day. And I did speak with Brendan and just said his head has been elsewhere. And I mean, when that's the case, sometimes the best thing that a trader can do is step away and avoid trading or just do one lots. Jack, I'm sure you've got their trading car or trade report up, but
He's
a
not
few
doing
things
one
that's
loss, that's for sure.
definitely not doing one lots. And every live trader that I have known from the board of trade that was doing it on the floor, they all pretty much started out at one contract on the floor in the live markets or even on the screen exclusively, as the trading has evolved to that. Um, Brendan was really trading some size, doing 53 contracts a day, and some things that really stood out: 0% winning days, 0% winning trades. Hate to see it. Not a single winning day, and not here to beat Brendan up whatsoever. But at a certain point, you've got to say, all right, let's pump the brakes or at least lay off the gas pedal, because losing almost $500 on every contract or trade that you take, it can take its toll both financially and mentally. It is tough when it just feels like everything somebody's doing is wrong, and I just know that from my own personal experience in the markets, where it feels like they've got a laser sight on me, and my one and two lots or whatever size that I am trading, it's like they're out to get me. And as soon as I put a trade on, they just run it against me and make it hurt. Um, I'm sure you've been there too, Jack, right?
Yes. No, I have been hurt badly. I know the feeling.
Yeah, it's not fun. And the best thing to do, switch to the micros, switch something up. Um, but just stop doing the same thing is kind of what it boils down to and what you have to do. Sometimes stepping away from trading, taking a break. I know MP has done that at times when he's been struggling, and a lot of times that can shift your focus and shift your attitude in trading to avoid that over trading and just get grounded again, where you're not going to be dreaming about making a ton of money your first few days and really just modest profits.
Yeah. Looking at this is a tough card to look at. So you had today's data. I only have 8 trading days on here, but in 8 trading days, this trader hit the daily loss limit 6 times. Um, it looks to me like they are trading something between maybe 8 and 10 trades average 12 lots you have right there. I think the most concerning thing about this is that, well, if you have a 3K daily loss limit, 12K is too many contracts. He's trading the NQ, right? So 10 points in the NQ is nothing. So even on 10 contracts, that's 15 points or something in the NASDAQ. That's nothing. I mean, I would have liked to see, we talk about cutting risk quickly when you're doing poorly and raising it slowly as you're doing better. But there's really, I don't see that here. It's just always the 10 lots, always going for that draw limit. I would like to see the size decrease. I mean, you got to brush it off at a certain point and pick yourself back up. But really, for everyone out there, if you are um, find yourself trading poorly and losing more and more money of what you're allowed to lose, you got to cut that risk. You got to cut how much you're willing to lose in a day, your lot size, everything else, and give yourself enough room for it to work. Because, we could do a poll at some point, but if you do have a 3K daily loss limit, I do not think that you should be trading 10 plus lots in anything. So it'll be okay. We'll get through this. Just that's some advice for next time, but I don't want to dwell too much on it because, yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, and I mean one thing that I know I've experienced is when it's going well, it's never going fast enough. When it's going bad, it's going quick. And it just kind of looks like that might have been the case here for Brendan. So just in the future, avoid that over trading and keep it small. And I mean, I know Dakota has set a high bar for trading, and he's done that by building the account slowly and building it up to where he can absorb bigger losses than some of our traders.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's unfortunate, but yeah, maybe we'll move to the next card. I don't know what the story is there, but maybe it's positive.
Yeah, Christian is the following card that we have, and Christian is kind of the slow and steady trader, and 95% winning days, 91% winning trades, and an average daily P&L of 222. Only taking 1 or 2 trades a day, really, and just 4 contracts. Um, Christian has taken a $5,000 payout, and the average winning trade is 340. The average losing trade is minus 2,000, which kind of is skewed because that was also Christian's one losing day, consisting of 1 trade. But the best day is 574, and just a great example of keeping the expectations in check and keeping it modest.
Yeah, this is an interesting. I'm looking at Christians now, 40 days. Uh, I have at the count I'm looking at, so this would be the XFA, has 40 days, two losing days. Uh, I'm a little worried looking at this, and if it works, it works. I mean, this is still great. Um, his daily risk versus reward is kind of flipped a little bit, where I almost wonder if we'd have to get him on here to know this, but I wonder if Christian is maybe doing a little Monte Carlo thing right here, because I see a lot of days where the P&L is 287.16 exactly. And then the two losing days that are very infrequent, and you can get away with this as long as the two losing days are both the DLL, I believe, like 2000 or thereabouts. Um, hey, if you can make it work, this is pretty cool. I'd love to know more about what Christian's strategy is. It's different than what we usually see, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a lot of times we do see those similar P&Ls from day to day, particularly in profits, when a trader is using those automatic OCOs that trigger when they enter the market. It automatically puts a stop loss in and a take profit. And hey, if it's working, don't change it. And one other thing that kind of stood out for me for Christian was, yeah, he had a couple of losing days and kind of bad losing days, but it didn't really seem to change the attitude towards trading. And it wasn't, let's get it all back in one day. They went back to the
Mm-hmm.
basics and really focused on being profitable in those trades.
Trying to track down the other loser here. 1 second. This is a really interesting
Yeah.
trade report. A lot of one trade days, some twos, some threes. It's very interesting. This almost reminds me more of the profile of kind of how we would trade bonds, where basically you'd make your blowouts would usually be worse. They were less frequent. Like you'd lose money on fewer days, but you would lose more money than you made on an average day. Um, yeah, Christian, if you're around, I'd love to, or don't tell me because it's your thing, but I'd be interested to see what you're doing over there.
Yeah, exactly. And we love hearing from our traders. So if you did want to reach out, please do. But I mean, the only, and I, not even a criticism, as you're making money, you're taking payouts, and you're trading profitably in your express funded account, is maybe consider putting one more contract on, or just keeping one on when you're exiting a position and let it work a little bit longer. Certainly adjust your stop loss if need be, so that you can not lose on the trade, but let them work for you a little bit longer and build up some more profits. I do see that the losing trades, granted, 91% of the trades are winners. The losing trades are about 3 times longer than the winning trades. But again, you're taking money out of the markets and consistent, which is really what we like to see.
Yeah. And I misspoke earlier. I meant martingale strategy. I was thinking about Monte Carlo simulations, which is something else a little bit related to that. Okay. Well, good stuff abounds. As long as we still got, no, we're down to 44,000 people. They must hate us. Okay. Brett, you want to take a look at the third card and then we'll take a few questions if they're around here?
Yeah, absolutely. Nicholas is the third trader that I wanted to feature today. Nicholas is in a 50K express funded account and trading the Nasdaq. Average daily P&L of $763 and taking about 9 trades per day. And one thing that we love to see is Nicholas has taken $9,000 in payouts from this express funded account and the intraday P&L is plus 1,700 minus 1,000. So really doing a good job of managing those losses. However, that minus 1,000 is the daily loss limit. The thing that really, or it was, I'm sorry, Nicholas reached out and said that they wanted to increase their daily loss limit. And ever since then, they've been hitting it frequently. Out of the last 5 trading days, they've hit it 4 of those trading days. And the one thing that just always you have to keep in the back of your mind as a trader is if you change something to your strategy and it doesn't seem to be working, go back to the basics, start at the fundamentals, and back at what has worked for you in the
Oh,
past,
really
because
quick,
you've
Brett. JD, I think we have the wrong card up here right here. I think we're on to Nicholas right now.
And
There's
there's Nicholas.
Thank you, nice catch. But go back to the basics. As somebody trading in an XFA, as an XFA trader, you need to go back, and if it worked before and you change something, go back to those basics.
Yeah. Interesting thing. I mean, he presumably the old loss limit was $1,000, and then it got increased to like 2,500 or something like that. And
Exactly.
I mean, at one point, it's hard to tell if they're. I presume they're scaling into these trades. I don't know if they really made 56 trades that day. On a day, and this is when they still had the $1,000 loss limit. Nicholas was able to make $13,658 in one day. Okay. Um, and that's with $1,000 loss limit, which prior to that, it's, on the days where he was losing the loss limit. And this might be a little bit of the example that I give. It's like, hey, if you can make $13,000 with a 1K loss limit, um, maybe just keep trying to do that, because having the tighter loss limit definitely helps you out here, because especially if you're someone that's going to hit it, going to use it. Once we've opened it up to 2,500 there, it's just like, and this is what we've talked about letting people select their own daily loss limit. That might work for some people. For me, I know that's something that I want to have controlled from outside, essentially. That was always the way that I learned, is that if you wanted more, you had to go to the risk manager and tell them why you were deserving, which they did with you in this case. But just because it's there doesn't mean you need to hit it all the time. I mean, a 90 something percent of my trading days, my loss limit would not come into play, because I want that to be a really, especially if it's been expanded, a really bad outcome, a rare outcome, if you will. Like, you don't need to lose it all. So, um, if I were to give any advice to Nicholas, I would say maybe drop it down again for a while until you get your footing, because you seem destined to hit it if you're trading. And now would be a good time to reset. They haven't done too much damage yet, or like irreparable damage in the last 5 days. But I think this definitely qualifies as a period of suboptimal performance, to put it nicely. That, as we said, cut the risk quick, raise it slowly. You tried it, it's not working at the moment. Drop that loss limit back down to 1,500 or 100 or something. Sorry, 1,500 or 1,000 or something like that. And if you do better, get it raised again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, really, it's okay to dream big, but shoot your shot and then rope it in if it's not working. Like exactly like you were saying, Jack.
Precisely. Well, all right. We're through the cards, Brett. It looks like we have a few minutes left here. As a reminder, we have group coaching after this. Let me pull up my handy dandy schedule. After this, we got group coaching with JD. Oh, sorry. With JD and Hogue, followed by Anne Marie's joining Robert and Dolby at 1. And then Andre Dolby and Jordan S. are in for Power Hour, which should be a grand old time. But while we're here, and we have a few minutes, if you guys have any questions in the chat about anything risk related in trading or at Topstep, we'd be happy to try our darndest to answer them.
Yeah, and while you're looking at those, Jack, I'll give a quick review. Pin in his live account has been able to get across the $20,000 mark at 23,500 in profits today, and they've done it with only about 30 round turns or contracts traded on the day.
Oh, but Pin, we've seen his name a lot up there. All right. Where's Mick? That's a good question that we can answer. Mick is in Europe. So I think this is the second week he's gone, and then he's getting back and should be here next week, I believe.
Yeah, Mick should be back next week, and we've been busy on the risk team, that's for sure, in his absence. And looking forward to him returning. I hope he's enjoying his time off for certain.
Someone asked how to like talking about scaling up and down successfully. Do you mean scaling into a position or scaling your or like managing your risk limits? Because what I would say, and I think I've said this before, is for managing your risk limits, you got to figure out how much you're allowed to lose in an account, and then make your daily loss limit a percentage of that does not really change, or if it does change, goes down. Because then naturally, if you build your account, you'll get a bigger daily loss limit, and if it goes down, you'll keep cutting your size, and that'll make the account more sustainable, would be how I would go about doing that.
Yeah, and good point. One thing that I always hated, especially I traded NYMEX primarily, but we had numbers 2-3 times a week, every week, and I would hate it if I would hit my loss limit before a number, because I love trading those numbers. I would always go into the number flat, and number just being like the rig count or something that would dramatically move or cause volatility in those markets that I traded. And I hated being benched anytime that volatility came. And sometimes it was probably the best thing for me, but it's tough to sit on the sidelines while the markets are moving around.
Quick question that is so specific, I have to ask. Brett looks familiar. Did he ever work at Procter and Gamble?
I am not sure what that references to, but no, I did not ever make toothpaste. I think Colgate is a Procter and Gamble brand, if I'm not mistaken.
One of those house of brands. Someone asked, so unfortunately with YouTube Live, we can't, someone's asking about captions. After the fact, the captions will be up there if you watch the show later, but unfortunately we can't do it in real time. YouTube does not support that unless we were to delay the stream by a few minutes, and that would be tough for a trading show. Somebody also asked, they're new to trading. Should they try Topstep? That's up to you. I know that if it's coming from us, that's an extremely biased source to ask, but do your research. Make sure that the biggest thing is no matter what you do, just never risk never risk anything that's gonna like hurt you. I think for trading money, that money should already be considered gone. You don't want to be cutting into your needs.
Yeah,
Brett
and
knows about
if you're thinking about it, I mean, if you do decide to trade, I'd recommend a 50K trading combine and see what you can do with that. Hopefully you can get that past the trading combine, bring it up to an express funded account and become an XFA trader and go from there. And again, take it slow, take it seriously, and start with the 1 and 2 lots and really just try it. You get a practice account with that 50K trading combine as well as with the express funded account, but go slow. Treat it like it's your real money, whether it's simulated or live, and that's the best way to grow and develop as a trader, and get the experience to be hopefully successful.
Yeah. One parting thought I'll give, and then we'll go to break after this. And thank you again, Brett. Is when you're deciding to, is just don't. The one absolute I'd say is don't go with anyone that says that trading is easy. Remember, if you're trading futures, for instance, that is a uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a zero sum game. Every contract, somebody wins and someone loses. And when you're trading futures, you are competing against uh, you're against the big boys. You go straight to pro ball when you're in there. You're competing against Goldman Sachs, Citadel, DRW. You're competing against all the quants, all the eggheads out there. They're all in it, and they're all trying to do the same thing. And there can only be each contract. Someone loses money, someone makes money. So it's like the hardest thing you can do. And I think too many people think it's sort of easy money because of the idea of, you click, 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 click. I made 10 grand. No, that's not how it works. So really think about, understand what that means. And you will put yourself more in the right mindset of what to look for, because this is like the hardest game around. So don't go with anyone that says it's easy. Try to, work at it. People can get good at it. That's certainly not a guarantee because most people do not. That's just the truth. So, not to bum it out, but we have fun too, Brett. But I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, and one thing that I was always told by the people around me at the Board of Trade was it takes 5 years, at least according to a lot of the people that were there for 20 and 30 years, to become what's considered an established trader. And that's a long time. That means that the primary focus of anybody should be to trade for tomorrow, like so many people do say on Topstep TV.
Right on. Well, with that, Brett, thanks for joining. Always a pleasure speaking with you.